Wow, what a sound. Today we're going to take a journey spanning more than 120 years, and along the way learn how this massive bell has continued to bellow that deep and beautiful ring for over a century. Let's learn about a man named Charles Singleton Bell, a grand lady named Catherine Davis, and a long and storied trip that began in Hillsboro, Ohio in the late 1800s and ends here now, about 12 decades later in Huntington, West Virginia. Join me for this episode of Haunted Majestic's Haunted History. This bell, now on display at the Haunted Majestic Haunted Attraction in Huntington, West Virginia, began its life well over a century ago. In fact, its birth can be traced through the inscription on its yoke. The C.S. Bell Company, Hillsboro, Ohio. It's interesting what a few words and numbers can tell us. Charles Singleton Bell started producing bells in 1875. His original castings up until about 1882 were cast with his name C.S. Bell. In 1882, he took on a partner and began inscribing his bells with the name C.S. Bell and Company. This continued until his business grew to become more than just a partnership, becoming a corporation in 1894. Beginning around that date, the bells this company produced began being cast with the identifier C.S. Bell Company, and in 1896, the C.S. Bell Company. Differing from most brass bells of the era, Mr. Bell molded his maker's marks on the yokes and sometimes the supporting legs, not on the bells themselves. By 1890, sales had increased to over 20,000 bells a year, and 15 sizes were being produced. The bells are divided into two classes: farm bells, weighing from 40 to 100 pounds each, and steel alloy church bells, weighing from 150 to 1,000 pounds. Mr. Bell experimented with the formulas of various metals, searching for an alloy cheaper to produce than brass, but more durable than iron. After many failures, he was successful and discovered that his alloy could be pitched to create a very mellow tone. It was this tone and durability that made his bells famous throughout the world. It was in early 1896 that this particular bell was cast, spanning a massive 38 inches in diameter as indicated on the bell's neck. The bell itself weighs in at 660 pounds. The yoke, legs, and bell combined total 1,010 pounds. The list price for this bell in 1896 was $125. A lot in the day, equal to about $4,500 in today's market. But we're not just interested in Charles Singleton Bell's wonderful sounding bells in general, but the specific journey this foot-operated behemoth took after coming out of its mold. This particular bell was built for and installed on the bow deck of the steam stern wheel towboat Catherine Davis. The boat was built in Marietta, Ohio in 1896 and owned by Captain Steve Davis of Marietta and named for his mother. The boat's maiden trip was on June 12, 1896 from Marietta to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it served primarily on the Ohio River until being sold to the Smiley Towboat Company in Catlettsburg, Kentucky on March 15, 1901. The boat was then used primarily to tow logs out of the Big Sandy River. On October 29, 1910, while working in Huntington Harbor, she struck an obstruction in the channel, ripping a massive hole in the boat's wooden hull at the aft end of the boilers. She sank in 7 feet of water below 9th Street at Huntington, West Virginia, about 100 feet offshore from where an amphitheater now sits at Harris Riverfront Park. The story gets even more interesting as days later looters attempted to steal the bell from the boat's second deck. but weighing in at just over a half ton, it quickly sank to the river bottom and became lodged in the mud. The boat was raised and sold to the Island Creek Coal Company of Huntington, West Virginia, which rebuilt her with a steel hull in 1916, outfitted her with a new bell, and continued to use the boat to push barges between Huntington and Cincinnati, Ohio, until she was dismantled in 1928. Another boat was then built by the company, and it too carried the Catherine Davis name until being retired and scrapped during World War II. The day of the paddle wheel was giving way to propellers, and diesel was quickly replacing steam. The Catherine Davis was simply no longer competitive amongst her peers. The bell was recovered from the riverbed during low water in August 1912 and donated by the Smiley Towboat Company to a Methodist church in nearby Guyandotte, West Virginia. The bell remained in front of the church until 1948, when it was transferred to a Methodist church in Apple Grove, West Virginia, before being donated to the Point Pleasant River Museum in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in around or about 2007. Honda Majestic acquired the bell from the Point Pleasant River Museum's collection on May 5, 2023, and restored it to its original patina and placed it on permanent public display at its current location. The many bells manufactured by the Charles Singleton Bell Company were found at farms, homes, and churches across the nation, as well as on steamboats, ships, and ferries across America in the early to mid-1900s. In fact, in 1944, Virginia Bell took one of her grandfather's alloy bells to Washington, D.C., and personally obtained a contract from the U.S. government. The Bell Foundry manufactured all ships' bells for the United States, Great Britain, and their allies during the final years of World War II. Are you a fan of America's forgotten history? If so, there is a lot of it here at Honda Majestic to see and experience. We are open several weekends each Halloween season, as well as for several special events throughout the year, including historical tours like this one today, ghost hunts, paranormal investigations, and private rentals. You can learn more on our website at hauntedmajestic.com. I hope you'll join us again next time as we explore some more of Haunted Majestic's haunted history. Thank you for watching.